Thriving businesses are the lifeblood of the national park, leading to jobs and stability. I'm delighted to showcase inspiring examples of entrepreneurs rising to the challenges of aspiration, imagination and creativity. We see how a local farmer turned necessity into the mother of invention, converting the old family farm into flourishing rural retail units, employing in excess of 50 people. There's the clever concept of taking a closed village pub in Staveley and turning it into business spaces, with the capacity to create around 70 jobs. And then we have the cafe and garden with strong Beatrix Potter links and a turnover of over 900,000 in a year. We recognise the importance of job creation and aspiring to achieve a more balanced, higher wage economy across our park. If you have great ideas of how you could create and run a business, come and talk to us and we'll explore the potential together.
We wanted to reopen a cafe at Lingholm to create some income to help to keep the estate together and keep it in good order, and it was felt that if we could restore the original walled garden as it was before the First World War, it would give the cafe a nice feature, and it would also be some sort of homage towards Beatrix Potter's time here and the work that she did while she stayed at Lingholm. One of our submissions to the National Park Planning Committee was that we would be creating jobs for the local economy. We're now employing around 35 people in the cafe, and its first year, full year's turnover will be something just short of £1 million. Initially we were told we wouldn't be able to build a cafe. However, after further detailed discussion, the National Park Planning authorities bought into what we were trying to do. As our relationship with the parks developed, they have been particularly helpful, allowing planning but also guiding us in the right materials to use and the right way that the buildings should look like they belong in the countryside that they're in, which is something I feel strongly about, because I don't want the beauty of the estate spoilt by buildings that don't belong.
It's the place where my grandfather came and started as a tenant in 1920. He strived and succeeded through the depression of the 30s. I was brought up here in the 40s and 50s as a family home. And then at the beginning of the 70s, the Kendal bypass had just come through and put a roundabout in the middle of the little farm, which then rendered it unviable. It was, what do we do with Plumgas? Do we sell it for second holiday homes, or do we try to do something with it to contribute to the living place that the Lake District really is? There's now 10 units and two more which will be fully occupied within a month. In excess of 50 people will be employed just on the site. I think the planning process has changed in the respect that the Lake District National Park was very, very protective. That was probably a very negative attitude to have, really, and had to change, because nothing stands still. And you've got to keep developing, but you've got to keep developing within character of the Lake District. You need industry and the industry organisations, the National Park included, to understand what the people on the ground really need to move forward, and that understanding has been improved.
So Billy's space came from this building that used to be called the Duke William, and it was an old pub. It sat empty for about 3 years, and it was all rotten and derelict and really bad condition inside. So no one had wanted to take it on as a pub. So what we've done is we've come along and we've turned it into 7 small self-contained spaces that will then be the right size for local businesses to come and move in. We've had landscape architects looking at it, we've had local massage people. So we're saying to local people, come and I guess do whatever you would like with the space, and let's create a real community within Staveley. In my opinion, there's lots of old buildings that should be brought back to use, and employment is key in the Lake District. We need to provide inspiring places for the next generation to keep them in the lakes. It doesn't just have to be about hospitality. Actually, let's create inspiring places to welcome other businesses here as well. To be honest, from my side, as soon as I had this idea on Billy's space, I just went straight to see the Lake District National Park. I called them, set up a meeting and ran the ideas past them. That's the best thing, and that actually gives huge amount of confidence to people like myself and other developers. Actually, let's get their opinion on what we're going to do before we take the huge plunge.